Well, hello, friends. Hey, I just wanted to share some information with you. Something occurred today. I got a frenzied phone call from a client today, and I was thinking it was something else, but it turned out to be a problem with a database update for what you see in the middle of the screen here, Malwarebytes anti-malware. As of 2 p.m. Pacific time on April 2nd, 2015. Yeah, you'd think it, and it almost felt like a delayed April Fool's joke. But anyway, there was a database update that came down. It was version 4.02.06. Now, normally Malwarebytes updates at least 2, sometimes up to 10 times a day, depending on what's going on, which is a good thing. They're regularly updated, probably more so than anybody else in the industry. That's normally a good thing, except in this case, that update was identifying all Office 2003 executable and DLL files as being infected with the Trojan Agent ED. It's a false positive, so don't freak out, folks. The problem was the action that Malwarebytes automatically took was to quarantine the files. And if you go to history, like I just clicked here, you'll see in your list of quarantined files anything from WinWord.exe to outlook.dll to outlook.exe, Excel.exe, and they'll all be quarantined legitimate files in your Office directory. What's the fix? Well, most immediately, the fix is go back to your dashboard in Malwarebytes before you do anything. Update your database version. Update your client. Like right now, as I speak, the most recent database here we have is 4.03.02, which is about 3 versions newer than earlier today. So that shows you what's been going on. Next, I would go into your history, and I'm sorry I don't have it here. I wish I did have an afflicted client, but what you'll see is if you've ever looked at quarantine on Malwarebytes before, you always know there's stuff in here. Just check the check boxes next to those Outlook files, WinWord, whatever it is in Office there, and you'll be able to identify them from their paths, and it's very clear. EMS database, something or else like that shows up too. Just select those and do a restore. This is after you've done your update to the dashboard. Just do a restore, and then go ahead and go back to scan. And what you want to do is you're going to want to do a custom scan. And let me clear out of here so I don't confuse you. You go to scan, you have threat scan, hyperscan, custom scan. Go to custom scan, configure scan, then find your Microsoft Office installation directory, in this case here. Select it and do scan now. Now, if you do a scan on that, and this is after the update, and there's nothing in it, then you know you're fine. You don't have any infections. You shouldn't have anything show up in the history under the quarantine files anymore. And this action will immediately restore Office 2003 functionality. Now you say, I know, Office 2003 is like an 11-year-old version of Office, or 12 even, more like 11. Who's using that? I'll tell you who's using that. Probably not the Fortune 500, but a lot of small businesses, a lot of businesses, and a lot of home users, a lot of people who just couldn't afford the inflated price of the Microsoft Office suite over the past few years. Many of which stopped putting Outlook in as an included part of the suite. So a lot of people have old versions of Outlook and newer versions of Word and Excel, for example. So this can happen. And the fix is to simply update your dashboard and update your database version. Go into your history tab. On the quarantine, check the quarantine, click restore. Restore those files. And just to be safe, go ahead and do a scan, do a custom scan here. And I'll go back and I'll show you how to get there. Scan, custom scan, configure scan, and then pick your directory here. And go ahead and do the scan. I'm sure it'll come up clean. Nobody's going after Office 2003 in a long time. And that will fix it. Now, here's the thing. If your user panicked, if you panicked, whatever, and you kind of have a habit of selecting everything in quarantine and just deleting all, you're screwed. Either you're going to have to restore from a backup image that's got the files. I don't even think a shadow copy will help you in this case. because of what gets removed, what could get removed. Your best bet, reinstall Office 2003. However, if you didn't do the delete all, then a restore of these will bring full functionality back to any Office 2003 applications you or your users may be running. So, to wrap it up, for the summation, we basically had an issue with a bad update from Malwarebytes that caused all kinds of havoc and probably made a lot of users or a lot of consultants that were supporting older versions of Office had their phone ringing off the hook today. So that's it, guys. No worries. Just do that. Remember, update first. If you can't or somehow won't be able to update and you're stuck with that 4.06, there is a workaround, and the workaround is basically to set an exclusion, and you do that by going to Settings, Malware Exclusions, and what you would do is just like I showed you in the scan, you would add a folder. You would basically add your Office folder, your Microsoft Office folder, to the exclusion for the duration. Know that there has been nothing out yet. Nothing's in the wild that's going after 2003 today. It's a bug in the database. Just go ahead and exclude it. Again, like I said, in quarantine, restore these files from the quarantine, and your user should be able to run again. And when you can get around to it, get that thing updated. Go ahead and just do a safety scan, a custom scan, and you should be back to where you were before all this mess started. So, hey, it happens. Thanks for listening, watching, and learning. We'll be talking to you. I'm out.